Disney, Disney, Disney. Did you really think you could sneak a fanfic on your roster and we wouldn't notice? This was my dream as a child, and this movie only fed my delusions. Hi, hello, how are you? My name is Maya and welcome to today's video. I need somewhere so I can vent all of my Disney opinions. I literally binge watch Disney movies every single day, so this channel will be my escape, my yap session, if you will. So if that's your cup of tea, then you could go subscribe and we could talk about it together. Guys, I have tonsillitis, so please bear with me throughout this. Don't make fun of my voice. Thank you. Today's decom of discussion is going to be Starstruck. Now, Starstruck is a 2010 Disney film about a celebrity who falls in love with an ordinary girl. This movie tells the story of Jessica Olsen, who is not like other girls. She reads books. From Michigan, who has an encounter with Christopher Wilde, who is a famous pop star potential teen actor, while she's on vacation with her family to Cali. Now, Jessica has a sister named Sarah, who is essentially a stalker of Christopher Wilde, who plans her whole trip around Christopher Wilde's activities so that they can run into each other while they're on this trip to Cali. Now, our girl Jessica could care less about Christopher Wilde, or celebrities in general, but Christopher Wilde specifically because she's had to deal with her sister's delusions. While she takes her sister to this popular nightclub where Christopher is performing, Jessica decides she's tired of waiting in the car and decides to roam around the city alone at night into a dark alley where she gets hit in the face by a door that Christopher just so happens to be opening while exiting from this nightclub. You're probably asking, why is Christopher at a nightclub? His girlfriend, Alexis, who is also a celebrity, was having a birthday party. And you might also be asking, why is Christopher in the back alley? Well, he's trying to avoid paparazzi, who's all in front of the building, because Alexis, who doesn't really care for her boyfriend, just cares for his popularity, spilled the beans that he's going to be performing at, which he avoided by sneaking through the back, I guess. So naturally, in an effort to not blow his cover of sneaking out of this nightclub, he kidnaps Jessica Olsen and takes her to the hospital. So before taking her home, they visit this hospital to get her checked out. They visit his home so he can play for the director of this potential movie that he could be acting in. And while he was pulling into her driveway, he noticed that paparazzi had followed them to her house, forcing him to have to spend the night at Casa de Jessica Grandma's garage. They then go on to have their second encounter when Sarah, Jessica's sister, takes her to the beach where Christopher Wilde goes to surf. And the craziest part about it is this is day 2, so he never ended up going home. We went directly to this beach in an effort to wait out the paparazzi, I'm assuming. I can't remember what the point was. I was on my phone, sorry. But yes, they have their second encounter here at the beach when he sees more paparazzi and he decides to flee the beach. They then go on to have an entire day together, and we get to see a montage of them spending time together, having a good time, because day 2 of them knowing each other, they're pretty much best friends at this point, I guess. After this montage, we get to see them arguing for the trillionth time of this movie. While they're arguing, Chris notices they have gotten stuck in quicksand and her grandmother's car is sinking. Disney, why is there quicksand in the middle of the desert? Can we please, everything else dry, everything else fine, one little bat of quicksand. Disney, what the heck? Disney. Then go on to see Jessica's most valid crash out, which wasn't as long as it should have been. I mean, a stranger, you just sunk your grandmother's car and you're not mad? Y'all are bonding by a lake? This is a sentimental moment? Okay. They then somehow make it back to the beach on foot, by the way. They then somehow make it back to the beach and almost kiss, but a few people started walking past and he changed his entire attitude, which gave us
I'm Christopher Wilde. You're just an ordinary girl.
And proceeds to act like a jerk, essentially, to protect his image. And I'm gonna go off script for a second, so bear with me. This grinded my gears so flipping bad. I cannot stand the fact that he's actually valid in being upset, because honestly, like, this is his career. This is what he does for a living. This is his literal life, you know, being a celebrity, being popular, being well known. And to have that all jeopardized because of a girl that he met yesterday that he was seen kissing on a beach would be detrimental to his career. Like, it wouldn't have affected him in a negative way, but it would have been a big change for him, and that's probably why he reacted in the way he did. He probably didn't want her life to change. He probably didn't want his life to change that dramatically yet. So I mean, it's so valid, but also, like, he could have did it in a different way. Like, I don't know, it could have been done differently. Yeah. And then for 2, like, we met yesterday. This is day 2. Why are we having a sentimental moment on the beach about to kiss? Guys, y'all are feeding my delusions. I feel like the craziest part about them knowing each other for a day is that we, as a collective, know more about the 2 main characters know about each other. We know more about them than they know about each other. That's what I meant, and you know exactly what I meant. And 3, like, why would they flip his stance now when they're in a private place? Like, this was such a private and secluded area. Like, okay, a couple of people walked by, but... So, watching the clips back, there were indeed people in the area. They're directly next to these beachgoers. I don't know if nobody came up to him because they didn't recognize him or what, but yeah, he had nobody coming up to him, and then as soon as they walk over to the beach, that's when he starts getting swarmed by all of these people and photos taken and yada yada yada. So I just wanted to say, like, I was wrong. It was a very public area, but it also isn't as public as the movie, like the Walk of Stars that they were on, or the Hollywood sign that they went to take pictures at. Like, they were in more public places. Like, yeah, I don't know. My point still stands. Whatever. Nobody noticed him at the end of the day. Like, this could have been handled way differently, rather than when they were on the Walk of Stars or at the Hollywood sign, literally in public, at a flea market, literally in public. But he decides, you know what, we're in private. I'm gonna crash out on her now. So about me having to keep my identity a secret, or keeping this whole day a secret. Like, I'm sure like 50 million people saw you guys out in public and didn't say anything. I think you're fine. Like, I just don't like the way that they made him flip his entire, like, attitude that he had towards her when they spent this entire day together. Like, it just didn't make sense to me. It killed my whole vibe, like, for the plot of the movie. Like, I just couldn't stand it. I couldn't. Moving from this heartbroken, crazy Jessica returns home to Michigan, and she's absolutely devastated, and her family is devastated for her. You see Chris proceed to go on talk shows and go on interviews to defend his name, pretty much saying that he doesn't know who Jessica is. He's never met Jessica once in his life, and saying that she's probably a crazy fan, which probably is the worst. Like, that's the worst. That's the knife in the chest. And in an effort for her to make someone feel something, she goes on to talk to paparazzi herself and tell them that they should feel ashamed of themselves for making someone have to put on a persona, or making someone feel like they can't express the real them, which is so valid. Like, throughout this entire movie, he's a media puppet, pretty much. Like, it's not fair. We then see a scene of Chris and Stubby having a moment where they're watching Jessica express herself on TV, and Stubby goes on to say how messed up it is that Chris has gotten an honest girl to put on a lying persona so that he can keep up his persona of a life that he doesn't really want to live. And then Stubby proceeds to tell them that he should choose his own path. He should, you know, choose his own life instead of following what the media and his parents are saying to do. Alexis and Chris then break up, giving him a chance to pursue Jessica, fire his parents, quit the movie, and pretty much make his life his own. I was like, where was this entire movie? Like, you should have abandoned this. But pretty much they break up, and he decided to make money moves. He started making his life his own. He didn't want to live under the pressure of media anymore. He then shows up at Jessica's school dance to sing to her and apologize to her and publicly express his feelings for her, which is so sweet. Grand gesture. Jessica then accepts his apology, making them an official couple, and then they ride off into the sunset with their shades on. happy. Everything's good. Now that we know the plot, I'd like to talk about the characters individually for a second. Starting off with Christopher Wilde. I'm not mad at his character at all. I really appreciate the message that Disney was trying to give through him. We see through his journey that being famous isn't exactly what everybody would expect it to be, and that he is suffering from vast amounts of pressure from everyone, including his parents, who at the beginning of the movie treated him more like a celebrity than they did their own child. We then see his girlfriend Alexis, who was using him for publicity, and we see his constant battle with paparazzi throughout the entire movie, trying to avoid them and avoid being followed by him, which is probably why he was so refreshed when it came to Jessica, because she didn't care about those kind of things. And honestly, that's probably something that he wanted for himself, which is why he liked Jessica so much, or was drawn to her so much. We also see his growth throughout the movie, especially at the end when Stubby encourages him to prioritize himself and take control of his own life. He then realized that he's not happy with his current fame-driven life and values deeper connections like the 2-day connection that he had with Jessica. All in all, I liked his character. I appreciated the change from media puppet to being his own true self and finding love on that journey in the most unexpected place possible, which was a dark alley. Next up, we have Jessica. And Jessica is an interesting case because it took me a while to, I had to see her best attributes rather than the ones that I hated. What I liked about her is that she was very genuine and she was very honest, and the fact that she valued authenticity in other people, especially in people like celebrities and everything, like Chris, says a lot about her character. I also like the fact that she is very strong on her own opinions and she doesn't let anybody sway her opinions. That's good for you, girl. I loved all those things about her, but I just couldn't get around her meanness. You were so rude to this guy. He was just trying to help you. And granted, he was a stranger and he's a celebrity that she already dislikes, and this is a situation that literally it just sucks. Who would want to get hit in the face, end up in the hospital, and then you're dragged around the city with this person that you don't like? But she came off so mean, and it came off annoying in the best way, of course, but she just definitely wasn't my favorite character. I could not stand her, bro. I was like, girl, lock in. He's trying to help you. Accept the help. That's it. It's not that deep. I also didn't like the fact that a lot of the time her character would be bland. It was just the acting was so dry and she had zero emotion. The times where she would cry and stuff like that, it would just feel so bland. I felt no emotion. I felt nothing. It was very boring per se. No shade. But I don't even think it was a her issue. I think it was more of a actor script issue rather than a her issue. They probably told her to act like that in that scene, so I can't fault her for that. But yeah, I just didn't like her acting in some of the scenes, and it made me upset because I was I really don't want to think this girl is a bad actor, but I loved Stubby so much. Stubby was probably one of my favorite characters in the entire movie. I wish he had more screen time. I wish he had more scenes. Stubby was such a good friend to Christopher. I liked that he didn't take advantage of his fame, but he didn't mind the benefits. Of course, if I had a famous best friend, I'd be I love you, but this is fire. Yeah, so I like that he didn't take advantage of the benefits and everything, and he didn't use Christopher for his fame. He genuinely was his best friend. He gave him great advice. He helped him find himself by the end of the movie, and he was a really good comedic relief in a lot of the scenes that we had. So Stubby was one of my favorite characters. Stubby, I love you down. He's just one of my favorite actors in general. I loved him in Let It Shine too. Lord of the Blade. But yeah, I loved Stubby in this movie. Also, I'd like to say that a lot of these characters, there weren't very many main characters. We had 5 in total. So these people I'm going to be speaking very briefly about, but they still had a role in being like popular character, main characters in the movie. And then next up we have Sarah. Her obsession with Chris was insane. Like, sister, calm down. Her obsession with Chris was wild, but I love that she stood up for her sister in the end when her friend was trying to call her like delusional in a sense. Like, I love that from her. Like, that shows so much character development from her. Like, before it felt like she could give less of a care about her sister, and then by the end of the movie we see her defending her and inviting her out to actually spend time with her rather than inviting her out to be her personal chauffeur. Last but not least, we have Alexis, who is very self-centered. I did not enjoy her character at all, but I know like the point of her character was to be like this conceited type of person who loves popularity, loves being in front of the camera and everything. So I wasn't giving her that much of like attention anyway to begin with. So yeah, that's our last main-ish character. There was so much to enjoy about this movie. I loved the music. The music was probably one of my favorite parts of this movie and really pulled this movie together in my opinion. I loved Shades. I love Starstruck. That's probably my favorite song, or one of my favorite songs. The soundtrack was probably one of my favorites in Disney. I still listen to it to this day. Still on my soundtrack to this day. Oh, I might put my soundtrack in the bio of this video. We'll see. But yeah, one of my favorite soundtracks of Disney, of the Disney Channel original movies to this day. And yeah, I love like the whole celebrity ex-ordinary girl trope. That was one of my favorite tropes, especially growing up. Like, just like the idea of like a celebrity being like, oh, I see this beautiful girl in the crowd, I fall in love with this beautiful girl, and I take her and we fall in love, and or I get trapped with this beautiful girl who's a fan, but I don't know that we're in love yet. Like, something about that trope just like gets me going. There's also like kind of an enemies to lover trope in there somewhere, but it was very subtle. It was a subtle enemies to lover, but it was still there. But yeah, I also love the relationship in this movie. Though it was unrealistic that a celebrity would fall in love with a regular girl in 2 days, I mean, it was still very cute to see, especially as a child. And like, this is one of Disney's best decoms, I'm not gonna lie. Like, this is definitely top 10. I don't care. The only thing about their coupling is that I wish we got more scenes with them together, because it just kind of left us on a cliffhanger, like they're together and everything is fine. But it sucks because like throughout the entire movie they argued so much, you would think like you would think they weren't gonna be like a great couple together. So I just wonder how they're acting together now, how Chris is handling the fame and having a girlfriend. I just wish like we got to see a lot of that new stuff. But I liked how the movie I guess I'm content with how the movie ended, because I have no choice but to be. So I would like to thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and give your girl a subscribe, and I will be posting more content like this. I think I'll try to release a new video by next week, and it'll be about another Disney Channel movie. So make sure to like and give me a comment of your opinions and what you think of this movie, or what you think about what I've said about this movie. If you guys have any opinions on my opinions, let me know in the comments, and give me a subscribe if you want to see more content like this. It was a pleasure talking to you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.